Hello everyone, and welcome to Living by the Law, the podcast discussing fictional worlds and how wondrous and ridiculous they are. My name is Matt, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Jude and Guy. Living by the Law is not currently sponsored. If you wish to sponsor us, be brave, dear listener. Get off your butt and pull out the mightiest sword there is, a pen. Breathe a deep breath and write your sponsorship offer on a piece of paper. Scout the wide world out there and hand your sponsorship offer to the person you trust the most. We will hear you. We always do.
Can you see them? Our comrades are watching us. They want to know what became of the hearts they dedicated to our cause. They may be gone, but their fight isn't over yet. Join us today as we look at the military and society of people within the walls of the Attack on Titan world. This episode contains some very minor spoilers for the first half of the Attack on Titan series. Enjoy. Yeah, so like, I don't know, man. What about just like rugby in different contexts always amuses me. Like, I feel like it's a thing of how can we put this sport into a different context? Like,
what? Are we talking about derby? Like on skates?
Yeah.
Oh,
because you were talking about like rugby on skates, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like water rugby.
I just think it's the deep desire to wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, it's just desire for men to wrestle other men and get away with it. You know what I mean? They just want to be close. They want to cuddle. They want to get, you know?
It's like the thing of it's a load of bullshit. The saying the women and children get off the boat first. It's just because the boys want to stick back and kiss each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's, you know, in ancient Greece, they used to. I mean, Plato was an Olympic wrestler.
Oh yeah,
and they used to wrestle naked.
We've literally talked about this on this podcast before.
Yeah. So,
hey, not to say anything else, but why do we keep coming back to this topic then? Just out of interest.
You know what I'm saying? Why are we wearing clothes? That's the real question.
Hey,
we should do these episodes naked.
Yeah. Anyway,
on the same topic of like sports and stuff.
Yep.
Sorry, just to keep this off track a little bit longer. What? Like, I don't have like. I feel like I don't have like. This is gonna sound bad. I don't have balls in my house anymore. Like, I don't have a soccer ball. I don't have a basketball.
No balls.
No balls. I just feel like, you know, those things we used to have in childhood that we used to take for granted of having to like go do an activity. I don't have them anymore.
I will say I was at a camp this weekend and it had a soccer ball and I just like passed it around for like half an hour, just like dribbling it around while I was wandering around, just talking to people. It's just nice. You just kind of fiddle around.
Like the other day I felt like I should go buy one just to be like, I have this so we can kick a ball around. Mm-hmm. It's not something I do that much anymore, and I feel like I feel like I exercise to be fit instead of exercising to have fun these days.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Less joy of being an adult.
It is. But speaking of big naked men wrestling, Attack on Titan. So last time we talked about the setting, the dystopian last stand of humanity, the titans that are keeping them penned in, and we talked about the weapons that have been created to fight back against the titans. But who are going to wield these weapons?
Who are going to wield these weapons?
Children.
What brave
Always
soldiers.
Children. Put the children in the weapons.
No. Honestly.
Okay, time it's not the children.
We do, due to the nature of like the story, we do follow someone that's quite young. But the soldiers is not child soldiers by any stretch of the imagination. There's probably only like maybe 3 really young people. The rest of the soldiers are like, the ages vary. Mm-hmm. Anywhere from like 16 through to like 40s and stuff.
I'm used to young adult fiction where the solution for every problem is
throw children.
Throw children out.
Lockwood and Co.
Shadowhunters.
Yeah.
But anyway, to get us in the mood and started, Guy, if you would like to take us away.
Scooby-Doo. Sorry.
Fuck.
And for a second of all, that is not a group of kids.
They're kids.
They're 24-year-olds and they're polyamorous.
They are not 24.
Everyone is in apart from Shaggy.
Even Scoob's in.
Whoa.
To quote, "Not once in this century of terror has mankind risen above titans. Their every craven, bloodthirsty advance has left a wake of inestimable loss upon us. Lives taken, territory abandoned. However, should we succeed, we'll make history. Today is the day lands taken by our greatest enemy will be reclaimed. For the first time, we will know what it means not to run, but to meet the Titans head-on and win. Now it may seem an insignificant lot of land compared to the vast tracts of former glory long abandoned, but as a symbol, as an idea, Trost's regain shall stand as a reclamation of pride and hope beyond measure, a leap greater than we have ever taken.
Yeah.
Hey!
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good. Thank you, guys.
I'm one take boy.
Puts us in the mood for the heroic fighters that go against these monstrous.
Gets you in the mood?
Yeah.
What
So
the
as
fuck?
you may or may not remember from the primer, I mentioned that Eren Yeager and his friends go to the cadets to begin trying to fight back. Well, that is where all soldiers begin. The Cadet Corps. And the quote that I will take away for the cadets from one of the leaders of the Cadet Corps. Yes, normal people accomplish nothing, but special people do exist.
Lots of special people exist.
Damn. What a guy.
The Cadet Corps is a regiment of the military dedicated to training and educating cadets to become members of the 3 military regiments: the Garrison Regiment, the Scout Regiment, and the Military Police. Only the top 10 graduates. Jesus Christ.
Guy, you can't offer us M&M's in the middle of the episode.
I thought you guys might like a little sugary treat.
I'm going to crunch this M&M.
This is horrible.
I dropped one on the ground. I'm so sorry.
It's
It
not-
was
all right.
mid monologue.
I thought it was the best time. It was a crinkly little packet. It's all right. I'll get rid of it. I'll find the gap in the curtain.
You're ruining the immersion.
Oh my god. Only the top 10 ranked graduates are allowed to apply to the Military Police Regiment, giving them the privilege of living in the inner districts of the royal palaces. The other graduates then get to choose between joining the Scout Regiment or the Garrison Regiment. Generally speaking, the Cadet Corps itself is split into 4 regiments, one for each of the districts around the walls.
That makes sense.
So originally the military was just based within Walmaria, but then it got moved back into Walrose. Clearly.
When that okay. Now maybe this is spoilers. You said the walls are all the same height. So when the big guy came, this might be off track, and you might want to just tell me to come back later. Why didn't he just knock down all 3 walls at once?
He breached a hall in Maria and then disappeared.
Never to be seen again.
Well,
Well,
not for a few years.
I was
surely
thinking
can't
I was thinking it would be this
come
army, but how long have they had this technology stuff? Ones they used to
the
fight
ODM gear. Oh, they've had that for a long
It's not a new thing.
No.
Okay,
no.
cool.
When they lived within Walmaria, they were members of the Scout Regiment, for example, was going beyond the walls, trying to establish colonies outside the walls.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So they've had this gear for a long time.
Interesting.
Generally, I just said that sentence. The series follows the southern branch, so of the 4, it follows the southern branch of the 104th Cadet Corps.
104th?
104th.
Cool.
Yeah. Why'd you both look at me like that?
What do you mean?
there's nothing going on.
Nothing going
Okay.
on.
This training takes place over 3 very intense years, taking in people as young as 12 and 13, but also people of any age can join. So there's plenty of older people there with the kids as well. They generally aren't sent out as soldiers until they are 16, though. Don't worry. Cadets in the same class aren't necessarily the same age. The ones we follow have a kind of wide age gap of 4 to 5 years between them. So the youngest at the start of training is like 13, and then the oldest in the training group is like 17, 18. But they're all training together.
Children
Yep.
fighting.
Yep. Well, it pays well. And if you get into the military police, you get a really good cushy position.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, Cool House is kind of worth it. Like,
Yep.
in this economy,
Yep. Especially as you can just go into the Garrison Regiment. Yep. The training goes through hand-to-hand combat, intense ODM training, wilderness training, horse riding training, and everything in between. People who come out the other side of the cadet training are very proficient soldiers. Ones that go on to survive fighting titans are even more proficient. Because, go figure, it is quite common to be a fresh cadet who never makes it past their first titan encounter. Because gear, scary monster thing, you do the math.
Shit your pants.
Yep. There is a lot of people shitting their pants and vomiting and freaking out.
Yeah. You can do a lot of training, but seeing like a giant monster heading towards you is...
Yep.
It's a pretty great filter for who's going to last and who's not.
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, war sucks.
Yep. Pretty much. It does do... If there is one thing that the series does really well through its entire run, in my opinion, it is showing the fucked up nature of this world, showing how cruel this world is, and showing the fucking horrors of war and people having to give their entire lives to a cause that may or may not be meaningless in the end, and having to deal with the simple reality, in all honesty, of fighting, that a lot of the time it's just a matter of luck that this person survived as long as they have. You can be skilled, but like people just die, and you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
After graduating, the cadets themselves choose where they go. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about the different branches.
Oh, lovely.
What if they all choose the same branch?
Then they choose the same branch.
Everyone is doing... No one's... I imagine there's a couple branches and there's no one's in there. It's like
Hey,
three
man,
guys.
I put fucking brass as my first preference in year 9. Doesn't mean I got a choice when I got the fucking strings, violins. Year 7.
Yeah, they gave me the triangle, man.
Yeah, based.
No, not
But
the
anyway.
the triangle.
Shut the fuck up. But anyway, you are very right in saying that you may not necessarily want to choose certain regiments, but we'll get to that. So the first one is the military police. So they are
A favorite of mine. Fuck.
They are the primary police force within human territory. Not only do they maintain order, they serve as the King's Guard. Since they do not normally come into contact with Titans, they usually carry firearms and rifles instead of ODM gear. They're there to police humans, not fight Titans.
Fun.
They are also in charge of tax collection and land distribution.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure these guys are great.
Great.
They usually abuse these duties to exploit resources and food from civilians.
What? No way.
Primary duties also include supervising the cadet corps, monitoring the garrison, and directing firefighting operations. They are also responsible for the arrest and detainment of political criminals and major offenders. The military police is given the jurisdiction during investigations that involve nobility or the royal family.
Whoa, and they wouldn't abuse those
They would not be
powers.
corrupt
Wouldn't do
at all.
anything out of the ordinary. They wouldn't be being...
So the qualities. The military police regiment is intended to be an elite unit made up of the most skilled fighters due to its rigorous standards of only accepting the top 10 ranked cadets. The reality, however, is a lazy, corrupt system that selfishly benefits from the powers granted to it, with these powers being abused and taken unnecessarily advantage of. Though they are from the top 10 graduates of the cadet squads, they are inexperienced as they only stay within the safety of Walsena and never engage in battle with Titans.
Wait, you said they're in the top 10.
Ranked in the top 10 of the cadets.
So if you're ranked in the top 10, you get to pick it? Is that?
Yeah.
If you're not ranked top 10, you can't pick it.
You can't pick the military police.
So there is some...
What if the top 10 all pick a different branch? Is
Then
there
no
like
one joins the military
No
police.
one joins... Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But usually it's very unheard of for someone in the top 10 to not pick the military police.
Is one of our main characters someone in the top 10 who didn't pick the military police?
Of the top 10 that we follow through the series, one of them picked the military police.
Fucking go! I fucking write these things.
Yep, 100%.
Well, you always you pick the guy. He's the main guy. He's the guy who's different.
He's the main guy.
They all go to a
Sorry,
different place.
I love the voice.
Which we'll go to. Yep.
I just want... Imagine... Yeah, you put the best people from your training in charge of the cushy jobs that does nothing and just makes people feel comfortable inside the walls, so they can feel protected instead of the important jobs like going outside and like doing stuff.
So the senior officers have also been seen spending all their time gambling and drinking while leaving the fresh recruits into the military police to do all the actual work. This corruption is well known with many people, even to the Walsena citizens, criticising their lack of care for anyone other than themselves. Refugees and forced labourers hold simmering hostility against the military police.
I don't blame them.
However...
Is this refugees from the outer wall coming in?
Yeah. However, many cadets still dream of joining the military police because it will allow them to have the most authority and receive the highest pay. Also, most policemen have relatively little experience fighting Titans as compared to the Scout Regiment or the Garrison Regiment.
Wonder why.
This, together with corruption, loose discipline, contempt from the public, abuse of power, makes this military branch the most incompetent out of the three in reality.
Yeah.
Because every good recruit, after being lazy as fuck and not doing any actual fighting for a couple of years, they are no longer that good recruit they once were.
Doesn't sound like a very good system. If I was going to rebuild it, I'd probably make like a rotation so everyone's good at everything.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they get experience outside, they get experience inside, you know?
Well, the people that go outside don't tend to last much past that one rotation, so we'll get to that.
I mean, that's fair, I guess.
The structure. The Military Police Regiment is an organisation with 2,000 members with direct command over 3,000 additional personnel from the garrison, if they need to call them in. This brings their total potential manpower to 5,000-ish soldiers. Their forces are divided between the major districts with 200 officers assigned per district.
Okay.
So the 4 districts around each of the walls.
Thanks for doing the math for me. I was struggling there.
Yeah, that's okay. We also see a few additional groups within the MPs. The Interior Police, who are effectively form a secret police within the MPs. These guys are kind of scary and fucked up. They are not incompetent. We see within this branch a hit squad that uses modified ODM gear called anti-personnel gear. Instead of blades, the grappling hooks are fitted with guns.
Ooh.
That doesn't sound like it's designed for fighting Titans, does it?
I mean, I'll be honest, it sounds kind of sick. But
Oh, it is. It's fucking sick, but it's
it's horrifying.
yeah.
It's bad, but it's sick.
Wait, so do they have the ability to grapple, or do they just have turrets on their side?
No, so it's the same handles. It's the exact same thing with grappling hook handles,
yeah.
but instead of it having a sword, it's got a pistol in it. So you
Gotcha.
grapple hook or you shoot your gun.
Gotcha.
So the one downside of it is that you have to shoot in the same direction you're going to grappling hook because it's the same.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
I was just confused.
Can you shoot the grappling hook thing to like wrap someone up? Is that possible?
Kind of.
Okay.
It tends to shoot straight out, but if you've got the right momentum behind it, you can do some funky
Like,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
You can certainly do that to Titans.
You can also just shoot a man with a grappling hook and he'll probably die.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, like if you consider that it's designed to shoot into stone, shoot into wood,
Yeah.
shoot through Titan flesh, it's gone straight through your chest if you don't have.
Yeah, I'm not as strong as stone.
No, you're not.
No, it's gone through me.
So anyway,
You're getting close, though.
Thank
these
you.
guys, the military police, that's basic. There's not a lot more to say about them. They're pretty corrupt. They're pretty fucked up. They also maintain the regime of keeping everyone heavily policed and living in desperation to an extent. There are some people within the military police that believe that as fucked up as their job is, they need to do that to keep humanity pushing. Because if they get too complacent, then they'll be more vulnerable to the Titans. Whatever. They also just like the excuse to gamble and drink all day. So,
Yeah, I've got to have fun, and everyone else has got to have a bad time, and that's how it needs to be.
exactly.
That's how my puppy did it, that's how his puppy did it, and that's how I will do it.
This next quote is for Matt as we go into the Garrison Regiment.
Dude gave me a quote. He doesn't hate me. I can only win quotes through Paper, Scissors, Rock these days. He doesn't give it to... I have to win Paper, Scissors, Rock. What vibe am I getting?
Give me an old heroic man, but he's quite old.
Old. If we humans go extinct, it won't be because we're eaten by titans. It'll be because we're killed ourselves off. We cannot afford to die any further inside. I kindly ask of you, please die in here, die on the walls.
Die here on the... Why is he asking to die on the walls? I was a bit confused with that.
What he's saying is, like, we're not going to go extinct because of the Titans. We're going to go extinct because we get pushed back to too small land to keep everyone fed and alive. So if we die further inland, we've already lost. So we need to defend these walls to the last man.
I
That's
thought
more
he
the
was just ask
context.
people to die so they didn't have to feed so many people.
No, they already did
So I
that.
was like, whoa. What?
So this is a great time to say a thing that happened. So Walmaria fell. For about a year, the entirety of the walls went through a horrible famine because there was nowhere near enough food to take in the hundreds of thousands of people that were displaced inland.
Yeah, the way circles work, there's a lot more land at the outside of the circles.
So what they did was put together a daring plan to get together soldiers from the garrison regiment, scout regiment, and people that got forcefully enlisted into one of those regiments, and put together an army of 250,000 strong to ride out, fight the Titans, and reclaim Walmaria.
Good idea.
Not a single one of them survived.
Bad idea.
good.
But on the bright side, people weren't starving
We have a
anymore.
lot of rations left over.
And it is heavily theorized, and it's the truth, that it was population control. There was no one was under any belief that they were going to succeed in taking back the walls. Yep. But the military police were the ones that put that plan together, and they were the ones that didn't have to go out.
It's our favorite guys.
Yeah. Now we're into the garrison regiment. These guys definitely lost a lot of people to this mission, and as a result, they are that much tougher.
Okay. Now, you said they were recruited, right? Is there a forced recruitment now?
No.
Okay. So that was just a...
That was we need to take back Walmaria. Every man of able fighting age is going to be put out.
So they
there.
lost a lot of men. And women?
Yeah,
how's
the
gender
soldiers
role?
in this is pretty evenly balanced, honestly.
Okay, so they didn't like fuck the gender in the
No.
population. Okay.
Not seeming. I mean, that might be something that if you dive in, there might be something that explores that, but not like noticeably, no.
Okay.
Another quick thing. You mentioned last episode that we wanted to split up these into spoiler warning things. Was there anything to worry about?
No,
for
this is
episode?
fine. This is fine.
Okay, cool.
I'll handle all that in the app intro.
Perfect.
So.
God, guy, that's behind the scenes.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's good to
Just
ask.
I'm ensuring our listeners that there's nothing to stress about in here.
Like minor spoilers,
There's so
yes,
much-
but not yet.
There's so much to stress about.
So
out
the
there.
garrison regiment, before the fall of Walmaria, it is worth noting, these guys were just as lazy and complacent as the military police.
Mm-hmm.
The clip at the start, we see our boy Aaron, when he's a little 12-year-old, walking around and he sees a bunch of garrison soldiers day drinking, drunk, playing cards, and he like yells at them and says, "You should be doing your jobs." And they're like, "Kid, no Titan's gonna get through this wall."
Shit.
And then about an hour later, the Titans get through the wall.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
That fucking guy, no! Why did he say that?
Part of the reason that Walmaria's fall was so drastic and terrible and so many people died was because of the ineptitude of the garrison at the time.
Yeah, and because that guy jinxed everyone. That
Yep.
fucking guy. They
That
didn't
fucking
exist
guy.
before. They weren't even coming for the wall, and then that guy said that
Yes.
and they heard it.
So the fall of Walmaria was a big wake-up call for the garrison regiment, and they became a much more competent fighting force by the time of the series really starting. These guys aren't a pushover the way the military police are. So the garrison takes care of all the defenses for the walls, whether it be patrols, repairs, or improvements. As such, they spend most of their time preparing for attacks against the wall. The garrison mans the cannons on the wall that are often used for long-range Titan defense. They must also deal with and plan for civilian evacuation and have emergency plans for dealing with scenarios when the wall was breached, and to make sure citizens are evacuated as safely as possible.
Have your Titan evacuation plan ready.
They
All good
do.
homes need a Titan evacuation
We'll
plan.
get to their evacuation plans.
That is
Yeah.
funny.
Qualities. So being the main fighting force of omnidirectional mobility gear soldiers, the men and women of the garrison come from all backgrounds and views. Some of those who joined are afraid of dying or unwilling to give their lives for what they believe to be a foolish cause, therefore they're not going to go to the scout regiment. Others are devoted to the protection of mankind or joined to protect loved ones from the threat of the Titans. The garrison takes all. The garrison has also given rise to imaginative and magnetic men like Dot Pixis, their current gallant leader, who can successfully motivate their subordinates to do their duty in the face of incredible odds. Thus the quote above, where he's like, "Die on these walls, do not run away."
There's nothing like a good speech. You know what I
No.
mean?
Attack on Titan has, despite my love of Lord of the Rings, Attack on some of the peak moments of like epic speech and stuff in Attack on Titan, pretty fucking good.
It's why I think I know battles were loud back in the day, but that's why I think guns kind of ruined fights.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Hey, man.
You can kill someone so far. I know they had bows and arrows, but you never had a good speech. You know,
Modern
that you
warfare would be a lot less destructive, and horrific if we just use swords and shields still. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And I feel like it would be epic, more epic.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel like there's no honor in a missile. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. There's Anyway,
I also feel like guns are too loud, right? I can't give an epic speech moment.
Guys, stop shooting for a second. I really want to do this speech I have prepared.
so anyway, we're going to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. No.
Before, yes. Oh, sorry. Here's the thing that I just ranted about before that I forgot that I wrote this. That before the fall of Walmaria, the quality of the troops was divided, lazy, undisciplined, and unreliable, only slightly better than the MPs. And a lot of them just joined to have a job that wasn't in the fields farming. However, they have, in the 5 years between Walmaria falling and where the series really starts off, they have turned themselves into a very competent fighting force.
Get your shit together.
Early on in the series, we see the competency of the garrison during the Battle for Trost, which is the moment that speech guy gave us at the start of this episode is from. They led a mission after the Colossal Titan made a reappearance after 5 years and threatened to breach Wall Rose, and did breach the outer district, but not the inner wall. The garrison led a mission to seal the gate and recapture Trost District, clearing it of the Titans that had made it through the breach, which was successful and prevented Wall Rose from completely falling. This was humanity's first ever proper victory against the Titans.
Fuck yeah.
And was a very momentous day.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
To get one victory on them.
100%. One big victory after literally a century of living in terror.
Yeah.
Members of the garrison usually work by themselves, but will sometimes work with the scout regiment when needed, as seen during the Battle of Trost, when there were members of the scout regiment present in the city as well.
Can I ask you a question? And maybe I'm interrupting here, but
that's fine.
I feel like it's an important question here. Would you, if let's take the scenario, put it in our world. Aliens come down.
Yep.
We know they want to eat us. They want to kill us. They're just killing us, right? Would you sign up to fight?
No. I am a
If humanity's at risk.
blacksmith.
Okay.
I am a blacksmith.
Would you
I
work
will
in-
help out. I will make stuff for people. I'm not fucking going on the front lines. I want to sit in my chair and eat my bread at the end of the day. I don't want to be fucking sweating worried I'm going to get crushed in my sleep.
But I feel, I mean, now in modern warfare, you'd probably a person behind a screen on a missile is probably more likely than
That's what I mean.
line.
It depends on the context. It's very, very, very far down in a long list. I feel like there's a lot of other things that I'd be like, surely there's other things that I can do or can get involved in to help out in this crisis.
Yeah.
Other than just running on the front lines with the meathead, so to speak. But if it is the simple of two choices between go to agency and get involved, or get killed in my house without anything to do, then I would probably pick it.
Okay.
I'll say that much.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation,
Yeah.
sure. But I'm saying, if we enlist, it's going to be medic, engineer. It's not going to be infantry.
No.
Just saying on this table here.
This is
Hey,
true.
speak for yourself. Give me a gun.
Hey, man, if you want to get the fuck in there, go for it. I'm going to be sitting there fiddling with shit, trying to figure
Like I
out a
say,
solution.
It's far down on the list, but yeah.
I always imagine the guys at the front line of like a big regiment of troops on a battlefield going I'm just dead, right?
Yeah.
That's terrifying. I don't know how they'd ever fucking do that.
It's a really sick moment in before they kind of got questionable in later seasons in The Walking Dead, when the main character is talking about, because they're asking how he makes it through and stuff, and he says that he remembers a story his grandfather told him from the Second World War, when he got through the Second World War, and the only reason he could get up and do every day is that he would get up, wake up, and say, "Rest in peace, you're dead. Now get up and do your job." And would just tell himself he was dead at the start of every day. And then that would let him do what he needed to do to get home. It's a pretty cool speech.
Counterpoint,
Anyway,
that's depressing as fuck.
I do like the bomb diffuser one, though, which is, it's either I will survive or it's not going to be my problem.
That's true.
I also like that
I
one.
like that as well. I like that as well.
I guess. Fuck me.
But yes, so the garrison regiment, in very rare instances, will also bolster the scouts' numbers to make a brief expedition beyond the wall if something of critical need happens.
Yeah, I like the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So in that operation, it was a combined movement. And there's been small recce moments where they've had to go out beyond the walls briefly in the series, but it's not usually their job. It has been noted by Erwin Smith, leader of the Scout Regiment, that due to their more frequent contact with Titans, the Southern Division of the garrison is notably more reliable and better prepared than their counterparts stationed in the interior walls and other districts. This is because there seems to be, for some reason, a higher concentration of Titans to the south.
Interesting.
Where the Titan hole is.
It is where the Titan hole is, yes.
Is that where the Colossal Titan broke through?
Yes.
Both times?
Yes.
Interesting.
Where the Titan hole is.
There's a big hole. They climb out of it.
So the
the Titan
structure, the garrison is the largest of the three branches with a total of 30,000 soldiers. Members of the Cadet Corps are considered in this total unit so they're considered to be in this unit until their graduation and enlistment in a different chosen branch, should they go that way. Their total number of combat-ready personnel is usually more 10,000 soldiers, with the others like on break or on leave and then subbing in and out. You know, like soldiers have tours of duties, that sort of thing. But if they need to pull everyone in, they're looking at 30,000-ish. Their structure consists of regiments, brigades, and divisions. A regiment is the smallest unit, consisting of 1,000 soldiers. A brigade consists anywhere of 2,000 to 3,000, or 2 to 3 regiments. And finally, the largest of divisions, which consists of 2 brigades. Straightforward, and then they have section leaders and brigade commanders, etc. as you go through. And then they're all underneath the main commander of the garrison regiment. The garrison also has, much to your joy,
Yay.
an engineering corps.
Yay!
Who are in charge of refueling, ammunition, and other aiding jobs.
My favorite.
The engineering corps does not have a specific insignia. Instead, they wear the same uniform as regular garrison soldiers. In case of many casualties during a battle, the engineering corps may be deployed as a last resort. During the battle for Trost, during the battle for Trost, for example, the engineering corps was stuck in the headquarters refueling ODM gear while Titans were literally breaking on the doors of the building.
That's fine. I got box cutters.
If you want to go back to your photos real quick.
Engineers went to the same cadet training. So
Yeah, exactly. They've all been through the same training. So if you scroll down, I should have forgotten to do this sooner. This is the 4. So the trainee group, the military police, the survey corps, and the garrison.
So we have training group is just 2 swords cut across. It's all on a shield. 2 swords crossed, and they're brown.
Yep.
The military police brigade is the coolest looking fucking horse I've ever seen on an insignia.
It's not a horse.
It's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Ah!
How sick, right?
Why is
The mane curves up and around like a glorious mullet, and then underneath again with a straight, piercing horn facing towards the top left of the shield.
Why is the military police the unicorn brigade?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Because they're special.
That's so cute. The survey corps, which I'm guessing is the scouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have like 2 wings, and they're blue. One blue wing behind a white wing.
This is a very, very classic imagery. If you've seen imagery of this show, it's probably
100%.
that logo on the back of the
I said
coin.
at the start of the last episode.
back of a sick jacket.
Big wings.
Big wings.
Aaron Yeager.
And then the garrison are a set of 4 partitions of the shield, 2 of them top right and bottom left having roses through them with a sort of thorny stem twisting up around the central pillar of that shield.
And then
And
if you want to scroll down again, we'll
And
see
their color is red.
this is the military police. So I'm not saying these guys are kind of crooks, but like...
Oh, he's wearing a big black hat and a big black jacket. That's Crook Central. And he's got his hands up like he's going, my evil plan.
The lighting is all evil guy lighting.
Yep. And then if we scroll down one more time, we'll see the garrison regiment with their commander
Ooh.
Pixus, their cannons, and then you can see the top. You can see in the background of the top photo that's the kind of minecart track along the top of the wall.
I like their jackets, but they're cut so short.
I know they're little crop tops, aren't they?
I don't really. I'd like the jacket to go a little longer.
I agree. But also, I guess it's designed this way so it fits with the ODM gear, is my thoughts.
I guess it wouldn't. I mean, if it's too long, it gets caught.
Why are you zooming in on his crotch?
Because there's something weird going on there. I don't know what's up with his
He's
hands.
got a big dick. Okay.
No, it's just like the shading's just like I shan't say. It would be unbecoming.
Pixus is definitely hung.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so they can have their gear on their things and they don't get caught on the jacket, which is
100%,
fair.
yeah.
That's why the cops are short, but it also I think it looks less cool.
It's just partially also the white like pants and stuff with the brown straps. It just feels very like, I don't know. I'm used to like black pants as part of uniform.
Which does...
Looks
honestly,
a little too kinky.
Now we're looking at like their ODM gear, their clothing. You can start to see where the time period that this is set for starts to get a little strange, because in one respect it's very medieval and Renaissance-y, but then you look at this and it's very modern clothing, right?
But it's also like there's a little bit of, industrialization era with the train tracks
Yep.
and stuff. Yeah, weird.
Where's my public transport train? Dude,
Weird, huh?
Dude, give me my train.
Well, we'll find that out later, won't we?
But yeah, I guess when you're making uniforms, I guess they must have been out back in the day. But the thing, like, they didn't have. Do they have like? The reason we can make uniforms so good now is because we have machines that can make them perfect every time.
Yeah.
Do they have machines that make these uniforms,
and
or are they making them by
workers
hand?
who can make it?
Can I be honest? I actually
True, yeah.
don't.
You're right.
I actually don't know if they have I assume they have some form of sewing machine, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
What is going on with the textiles industry in Attack on Titan?
That's what I need to
Fans,
know.
get at us.
Yeah.
I need to know about the textile
Chat to us
industry.
about-
Can I be honest? If I've learned anything about this fandom from researching this episode, there will be someone on Reddit that has got a big thing about this.
Right.
Anyway,
Incredible.
we'll keep going. I should have showed you those pictures before. I got distracted.
No, delightful.
Oh, no, not yet.
No,
Wait,
good.
yep,
No,
still
no,
in the
no
garrison.
scrolling. Keep scanning the
So-
garrison.
The cannons are very cool. They're very modern.
Oh, yeah.
Cannons.
And you can see that they're kind of designed in such a way where they can flip fully down to shoot straight down the edge of the wall.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they can flip around as well.
Yeah, they can.
I feel like it's kind of bad if they can do that.
Well, some Titans get inside the wall. That was an adjustment that was made after Walmart.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I think a thing that we do see in Walmaria's Falling is this epic moment where they're all shooting their cannons out, they take down a few Titans, and then Titans get inside the walls, and the guys are on top of the walls with their cannons like, oh, they're behind us now.
They don't look like they can rotate sideways, which seems kind of awkward.
I believe they can. I think they're on a platform that then rotates on top of.
Oh, the platform.
Yeah,
Okay. That makes sense,
Yeah,
actually, because
yeah.
the way they're structured, it looks very stiff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll talk about the tactics implemented by the Garrison Regiment. So the only case of Garrison coming into contact with Titans will come in the direct confrontation due to a breach in the wall. As such, their tactics have to be intertwined with civilian evacuation and Titan defenses, rather than just going out and killing Titans. Though in special cases, as I've said, a vanguard may be sent out to deploy beyond the wall, usually alongside the scout regiment. So we're going to talk about their special response operation tactics. In the case of a breach, the garrison must mobilize its men to confront the Titans coming in. If there is no way to block the breach, then direct battle must be conducted to give enough time for civilians in the town to escape. Upon the successful evacuation of all civilians, the gates will be closed and the district will be quarantined. It is only then that all the soldiers may escape to the safety of the wall. So this is keeping it isolated within the district they've reached. The garrison soldiers will be deployed depending on their skill level, with the most junior soldiers facing Titans directly at the breach and the elite guarding the innermost point of the city. While that may sound fucked up to the junior people, it's designed in such a way that if the junior cadets are fighting Titans at the breach, they can dip in and dip out as needed, and if they go, I cannot tangle with these two Titans, they can just grapple themselves up to the top of the wall and sit there for a minute. Whereas the ones that are defending at the end, where the civilians are, they can't let a single Titan get through. Therefore, they have to give it
No
their
time
all.
to rest.
Yeah, exactly. So the vanguard, these soldiers are stationed at the far end of the city, wherever the breach in the wall is. The vanguard is comprised of regular garrison troops, and it is their duty to slow down the advance of the Titans if they ever manage to enter the city. Soldiers usually try to avoid direct contact with the Titans in order to increase survival rates. However, the Vanguard Regiment does have a small detachment of troops whose job it is to engage Titans outside of the city and slow their advance in. After said Titans have been maimed by a barrage of cannon fire, of course. Most of the Garrison Regiment was wiped out. Most of the Garrison Vanguard was wiped out in the Battle for Trost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They tried. The Middle Guard, located between the Vanguard and the Rear Guard, the Middle Guard is tasked with the elimination of any Titans that may have slipped past the first line of defense. The Cadets, who, when we see this used in the Battle for Trost, the Cadets who are fresh out of their training, all of our main characters, they are sent in the Middle Guard, as they were not skilled enough to aid near the rear, and they were not quite skilled enough to be put on the Vanguard and would probably just be a hindrance to the soldiers there.
Makes sense.
The Rear Guard...
I like that the most experienced have made that up. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense tactically. You guys got to take them on first to the breach, and then we'll take them on later.
Yeah,
Don't worry
that's what I mean.
about
Like, it
newbies.
sounds like that, but then when you think about it, you can get why.
I like that they've done that.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, sure. We're definitely doing the good work over here.
The Rear Guard, they are stationed in the deepest sector of the city, guarding the civilian evacuation through the city gate to the next level of the walls. Since these soldiers are directly responsible defending not only the lives of the civilians, but also the main access point point deeper into the walls. The men and women of the garrison rear guard are the most skilled soldiers available at the time. Because they are the ones that they cannot fail. While this is going on, all attempts to stop Titans outside from entering the district, short of fighting them, is used. This includes cannon bombardment, harpoon nets to stop them coming through the breach, anything they can do to stop them in their tracks. Even just getting big spikes fired down to impale them and stop them walking through the breach.
They have tar, like molten tar?
Yeah, I think they do actually at one point as well. They literally, because the garrison's all along the top of the wall, and if there is one place that you are completely safe from the Titans, completely safe from pure Titans attacking, it is on top of the wall. None of them are ever able to get up there.
Except the big guy.
Yeah, but he appears and disappears, supposedly.
Kind of hard to appear and disappear when you're 60 foot tall, but
He manages.
fucking alright.
He's got a really good stealth score. He just
He does.
sneaks away.
He does.
No one...
When the barbarian has the best stealth score in the party.
Holy shit, he's gone.
Where'd he
He's
go?
just like crab crawling around.
Don't worry, we'll get to it.
Tippy toeing around.
But point being, you're pretty safe on the top of the walls. So when the breach happens in like an outlying district, you can send a lot of engineers along the top of the wall, and they can kind of sit there going, all right, what can we drop into this breach to try and stop them coming through? What fucking shit can we do to try and stop this breach?
Do they just sometimes just drop rocks in the breach?
Yeah,
to, like, just...
anything and everything.
Nice.
Massive sharpened tools to try and drop down, nets to try and land in place to stop them walking through. Literally anything you can think of, they've probably dropped it through a breach at some point.
Nice.
Fair enough.
People that look a bit... No, I'm joking.
The cannon? Just throw a cannon in there?
I mean, they can shoot the cannon, but...
Yeah, what if you had a bullet? You just throw the cannon at them.
Yeah. Outer wall breach emergency plan. Because the wall is so large, the garrison, as I've said, does not have the manpower to patrol every section of the wall. So while this plan works well for the districts, does not work for the random bits of outer wall, right?
When there's a breach, do they pull everyone from every other city to come down?
That's what I'm going to explain now.
Oh, okay.
So the plan that they have for that is that... basically, they send out garrison members with a priority of spreading word of the breach to all settlements and guiding a mass evacuation of the closest settlements back to the next wall, as well as sending out effectively a net of soldiers on horseback with a big distance between them, so they can act as runners to convey information, but also form a net to know when Titans are coming. So if Titans are coming in, the net will start to retreat back in so that people can get warning that they're coming this way. So they're basically for, especially about radio communications or anything, they just have to do, this is the best communication.
Do they have like beacons they light or like flags, big flags?
They do have flare guns. They don't tend to get used now, but they can if needed.
Okay. Yeah.
The flare guns are used for a bit later on.
You know, it'd be really useful to transport a lot of people to a place you need.
Train?
A train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do have big boats that go up and down the rivers. So in the evacuations, they'll load people onto the boats and take them up.
Nice. That's a good option.
Yeah.
Give me the train.
You really want a train, my guy.
He really fucking wants a train.
Hey, hey, we can't make trains. We can make winch,
They'll
grapple,
also-
steam fucking things.
The other thing they'll do
No
is
train.
send riders from the garrison regiment will go between each district. We'll send a group of riders to the next district and vice versa, with the idea that they need to find the breach because they probably don't have someone patrolling where the breach has happened if there is a breach.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's
Usually
basically
it's in the south. Like,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, if for example, if
not-
Titans appear somewhere, which might happen at some point in the series, if Titans appear in the wall, they've got no
appear.
idea where they've come from. So they have to find the breach. That's more my point.
oh,
You can't patrol the whole wall. You have
Yeah.
to figure out where it is.
That's
so, for
fair.
example, because they only have the big patrolling happen at the districts.
That's
so if
fair.
somehow someone breached the wall in the middle of no
Yeah.
man's land, no one's going to know until the Titan that wanders through finds a
Yeah.
civilian.
I mean, but the larger Titans are up to like 15 meters tall.
Surely
Surely
you
the
can see
breach
that.
is big.
Yeah, but like when you consider how fucking big the tracts of land we're
I
talking
guess
about.
you're right.
So while they do have people whose job it is to effectively ride horses around the top of the wall and take the carts around the top of the wall and do rounds,
that'd be a good job.
yeah, they can't be everywhere. It's just impossible with a wall this size,
Yeah,
right?
that's fair. You're going to see it from far away, right? Surely you can see the break in the wall.
Yeah, but you don't have to get like that close to it, but you still have to ride around.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway, that's the garrison regiment. The last one we're going to dive into for the episode today is the Scout Regiment, which rounds out our armed forces of Attack on Titan.
Let me guess. Jaeger's in this one.
Of course he fucking is. The Scouts are badass. Matt, I feel like there's been you can take this quote, I think.
Yo, this is fucking racism.
Give us... Let's say a hero in despair, maybe, is the tone we're going for here.
Oh God. Everything I've done till now was because I thought this day would come. That someday I could check if I was...
Tone back the despair a little bit. He's not that despair.
Sorry. Okay. I could check if I was right. So many times I thought death would be so much easier. But always the dream I shared with my father flashed through my mind. And now I'm close enough to answers to reach out and grab them. He seems a bit hopeful.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
hopeful
he's
by
in
the
despair.
end. The Scout Regiment, or the Survey Corps, depending, operates as a military division in charge of exploration and reclaiming of human territory from Titan infestation. This is mainly done by setting up small bases, camps, resupply stations, and extra fortifications in available areas outside the walls.
Oh, that's so cool, actually.
Yeah. So these guys ride out into Titan territory on horseback and fight Titans.
They build a little house out there.
Yep, they do.
It's cute.
This is mainly done... I just said that sentence. This branch of the military has by far the highest death rate.
Hey, comes with the territory.
No way.
Prior to the breach of Walmaria by the Colossal Titan, they explored the lands outside of the walls, though they could never get very far due to heavy casualties suffered from Titan attacks. After the fall of Walmaria, they take on a somewhat seemingly more crucial role of trying to scope resources from lost lands and search for ways to reclaim Walmaria. In a relative sense, it is said that exploring the lands between Maria and Rose is safer than going beyond Maria. Because
That makes sense.
as much as it's open to Titans, they still have to wander through the breach.
Yeah.
So there's
still
less...
most
yeah.
of the wall.
Exactly right. Then a more recent unofficial duty has also been Titan observation and research, as they now have access to this, heavy air quotes, safer land between the walls where they can explore. They can actually attempt to capture Titans, try to research them, and try to observe them just in the wild. For example, once again, that object permanence, and if you remember, I mentioned that the lands between Rose and Walmaria has massive, 40-foot high roofed forests and stuff. If you can get to those forests and build bases out there, maybe they do that.
There are houses you can hide in and stuff like that.
You can hide, you can get up to the top of those trees. Eventually, they're going to forget about you, and you'll just be observing them in the wild.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the knowledge, at this point of the series, a lot of the knowledge we have about Titans comes from there.
How good can Titans smell?
Reasonably well,
Okay.
seemingly.
So if you can't really hide behind a wall.
It's the height's important as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
But we also don't see them engage with the idea of what if I mask my smell? So I don't know.
There's not much to be done there. They're silly little guys.
They are.
Cover yourself in shit.
Qualities. Since the Scout Regiment is constantly on the front lines, fighting Titans, and its high fertility rate and low success rate discourages most people from enrolling in the Legion, as seen when only 10% of the 104th Cadet Corps joins them.
You'd be running out of numbers at that point.
Yep. Thus, the Legion suffers a constant personnel shortage, and the only soldiers who enter the Scout Regiment are dedicated to the cause of humanity, usually at the cost of their own lives. As the quote before, I think, highlights perfectly, it's more about them being desperate to learn the secrets what lie beyond the wall. Because I think that's a big part of it. Yes, it's the people that are... like our boy Eren, he's just so enraged and angered by the Titans that he wants to wipe them out, and that's usually his dividing motivation, is just, I want to kill them all. There's also, for everyone that's like that, there's someone who just really wants to find out the secrets of the world, because who the fuck, if you picture yourself today, if the only way that you could find out more secrets about the world was by adventuring beyond the wall, you'd be tempted. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that you would do it against the Titans, but you can see the draw and the appeal of like finding out the secrets, right?
You know they say curiosity killed the cat.
Oh, 100%.
But satisfaction brought it back, baby.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's
Yes.
the end of the quote.
is it?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. I don't know if that's true.
that is true.
Fair enough. However, in stark contrast to the military police, there is absolutely no laziness or incompetence in the Scout Regiment and zero corruption. I actually mean that. Whether at their headquarters or in battle, members of the Scout Regiment have no one to depend on but each other. This has built a very strong atmosphere of trust in the Scout Regiment and a general no-nonsense form of honesty among its personnel. Scout Regiment members tell and expect to be told the truth, no matter how good or bad it might be.
Yeah,
And they are.
they deserve that much.
Yep. Prides of the individual soldiers are also very high, as they are aware of not only being the best of the three military branches, but whatever progresses, victories mankind gains against the Titans are almost certainly gained at the cost of scouts' lives.
Yeah, it sounds bad, but like if you're gonna be like such a risky job, I feel like you need to trust people, and people don't trust people. They'll die out there because you don't have like a level of trust between you people. So if you don't like, or something, there might be an accident in the field where whoops, I stabbed him, but he died by a Titan. Whoops, no one else is out here.
Exactly. And that's why, like, to cut it in the scouts, you need that camaraderie, you need that trust. And it's very much in the same way that you see, like, we band of brothers, King Henry V vibe, soldiers in the Second World War, paratroopers being like their band of brothers, whatever. That's very much the case of these soldiers. They are,
Good
because all
t-shirt.
they have is each other. Yeah, it is. Trust between leaders and subordinates is also absolute, due even to the extent of trusting when they need to be left out of part of the plan and not have all the information.
Oh, that's ick.
That's such a classic thing.
Like, I get it, but like,
I hate story tropes that only happen because of miscommunication between characters. It's just like, oh.
There's no issues with miscommunication though.
But is there like I won't tell you this because it's my epic reveal. I'm going to epic reveal that I have this
not
new
really.
Titan killing weapon, but I'm not going to give it to you because
It's
I want to get a cool.
less of that and more of, okay, my orders are telling me to do that. That makes no sense to me, but I trust that my commander, who has a better visual over the whole battle, I trust that he knows what he's telling me to do is the important move to do. It's more that.
you're going to get told what to do and not why you're doing it necessarily.
Yeah.
But there will be a reason for it.
Yeah, and they have the total trust between each other that what they're doing is the case. And part of being a scout is accepting that sometimes that suicide mission that you're doing is because you need to do it, and because if you don't do that, everyone else is going to die.
Yeah.
It's a tough life being a scout.
Yeah.
While most of the soldiers do not survive their expedition into Titan land,
That's fucking crazy.
yep, each successive expedition exponentially increases their chances of survival as they get better and better at fighting. Crazy, right?
Yay.
The Scout Regiment's most hardened veterans each have numerous Titan kills to their name, and far beyond any members of the Garrison Regiment or military police, are the most skilled fighters in the whole military. Go figure. With its frequent expeditions outside the safety of the walls and regular combat engagements with the Titans, however, membership in the Scout Regiment is extremely dangerous.
What? No way.
Who would have thought?
Each and every officer and enlisted person from highest to lowest in rank lives with the fatalistic knowledge that the next encounter with Titans may very well be their last. Despite their small numbers, the discipline of the Scout Regiment is regarded as the best, but not just by us as the viewers and by the military, by the civilians, and there is a lot of pride in the people inside the walls. Like, oh, the Scout Regiment, they're the heroes of humanity, all that sort of thing.
I feel like this is the kind of person that like they don't work to live, they live to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like
definitely.
everything's about their job. You know,
Yeah.
they're it's
100%.
a hard person to be friends with, unless you're like a coworker.
I feel like it's also very much like a blue collar support job. Like, during COVID, the nurses on the front line, respect our nurses. Would you do a nursing job? No. It's like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
they
much
should get a
the
pay
case.
raise. No, we can't afford it. Can't fit in the budget. Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But they're so essential.
Yeah. So the Scout Regiment has earned a a well-earned reputation for toughness and cool-headed courage in the face of extreme hardship. Members will always fight on, even in the smallest, most isolated groups. Scout Regiment members are physically and mentally tough, highly adaptable, and can be counted on not to panic when the garrison and military police would have long run away in broken ranks. Unfortunately, this branch is also in the most uncomfortable position politically and financially, despite being the best out of the three in terms of overall quality.
What? No way.
As they struggle for resources, manpower, and due to many years of lack of definitive, decisive successes and high losses of lives, many of the bureaucrats and people in the King's Inner Circle see the Scouts as a waste of time. Which is not entirely unfair, but also when you see what you can see what they're doing as the viewer, but you can also understand how people inside the walls wouldn't see what they're doing.
You're just wasting a bunch of people and dying.
Exactly.
And, yeah. Every time you gotta equip them, you gotta train them, and they die on their first mission.
That's it.
Such a way.
3 years of training, and they could die on their first mission.
Yeah, and also all the materials they had out there.
All those years of academy training wasted.
Yep, literally. Thus, membership involves little glory, and the Scout Regiment members are not after money, glory, or promotions, but truly committed to buying humanity a better tomorrow, whatever the cost might be. Anyone can join the Scout Regiment, and very few do. So quickly go over the structure. The Scout Regiment is the smallest branch in the military in terms of membership, with an overall size of around 300 soldiers.
I feel like they need to stop doing the you get to pick. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Like, I feel like that just doesn't work in a system.
Well, yes, but also if you force people into the Scout Regiments, that's how you lose their elite nature, because you'll get people forced into there that are going to break rank, that are going to panic, that are going to lose their cool-headedness. Like, all of the things that make the Scout Regiment work is because that dude can count on that dude at his shoulder to the absolute end of the world.
And knows that he wants to be there.
Exactly. As soon as you start forcing... It's the same reason, like, if we want to go back to a World War II analysis, it's the same reason that things like paratroopers and elite forces had to be volunteer and had to be trained within an inch of their life, because when you're dropped into those fucked up situations, you have to be able to count on that person next to you.
That's fair. I guess the risk of it is, like, you get too... There can be, like... Between like an enforcement people, like an army, can be too close.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's like it starts to turn into a gang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue going. The structure of these 300 soldiers, at the top we have the commander, and then beneath them we have 4 section commanders, and beneath them we have team leader. Basically, it all ends up being just segmented down into teams of like 10 or so with a leader. We have also got 600 specially bred horses maintained by the Scout Regiment. These horses are noted to be exceptionally valuable and bred for great speed, stamina, and calm temperament.
Great horses.
They're great horses.
Incredible, beautiful, great horses.
Yep, beautiful stallions.
They need to be great horses that they're riding alongside a Titan.
Yeah. They usually outrun Titans.
Epic horse.
I think it would be remiss not to mention the Special Operations Squad here. They are a team of elite soldiers led by Levi Ackerman, hailed humanity's greatest soldier. This squad of hand-picked soldiers by Levi himself, they go on particularly intense missions and operations. If the average scout can be expected to take on at least one Titan one-on-one and win, Levi's squad will take on 5 at once and win. Levi himself, endless.
Let me guess. Aaron's in this group?
Fuck no, he sucks.
Oh, okay.
Well, he ends up kind of joining the group eventually, but he gets put with the group for a bit, and he's like, I'm so much worse than these guys. But he gets put with them for reasons that we'll explain when we look behind the curtain of this world. So, to quickly go through their tactics and ring us out, effectively. Due to constant horrific losses suffered at the hands of Titans, the Scout Regiment has been forced to fight smarter to achieve their goals. The Scout Regiment uses horses as one of the main resources to explore, as you can imagine. And often, as you may have noticed, I said 300 members, 600 horses. Usually a Scout has 2 horses to their name in the same way that Knights would often have 2 horses so they can switch between them.
Because if one horse might be exhausted.
Yeah, exactly. The tactic that we see them use that has been developed by Irvin Smith, the current leader of the Scout Regiment, who's a fucking badass, let me just say. He's a Chad.
Okay.
Yeah, if there was if there is like the top Giga Chad of this series, it's Irvin Smith.
Scar over the eye type of.
No, more like he'll get his arm bitten off by a Titan, kill the Titan, and keep fighting kind of vibe. You know?
Very nice.
So this is the
arm. It's all good.
long distance enemy scouting formation. So this is key. So the key to this formation is in Titan avoidance until you can get to the location that you want to fight. Because if Irvin Smith knows one thing, it's that he has to pick where to fight the Titans, and if they catch you in the open, you're in trouble. Because even the best soldiers are going to struggle to take on a couple of Titans in an open field, right? Whereas once you've got all the maps of the area you're going into, you can pick your locations and you can lure the Titans there to then kill them and then keep moving on.
This might be a spoiled story, but how far have they gone beyond the wall?
Not very far beyond the wall. The outer wall,
Yeah.
not very far.
Is that the start of the series?
Yeah.
And in between,
Are we going to get further on by the end? Ooh, maybe.
perhaps.
When we peek behind the curtains.
Ooh.
Between the outer and the like next inner wall, is there like a bunch of ruins and stuff? Is that what they're trying to like get
Yep.
to fight?
Yeah.
Cool.
There's ruins, and also I mentioned there's these huge, like 40-foot tall forests of trees and stuff.
Oh, very nice.
And even just slightly more forested areas. Anything that can provide you a jumping off point for your ODM.
Just
gear.
not the many open fields for farming that they had.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you're in a complete open field, your only anchor is using other Titans, which someone like Levi, no fucking worries. He'll take on a Titan without ODM gear on the open and probably find a way to make it work.
You can punch one.
But
and
the
die.
average scout is going to struggle. Whereas the average scout with things to anchor off of, you can probably count on one scout to take on a couple of Titans if they can pace themselves. So the Legion is the entire Legion. It's designed for all 300 scouts to go out at once. The entire Legion is spread out over a large area, maximizing visibility. Upon encountering a Titan, outward scouts will use a red flare to indicate danger and the Titan has been spotted. All scouts that see that red flare will fire up their own red flare so that the commander in the center can zero in on the approximate location of the Titan. And then after he's got enough information, he will fire a green flare in a particular direction, and then they will wheel the formation to follow that new direction.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. And then everyone else will fire a green flare as well to spread this information quickly and then all get moving in the same direction. However, the trouble for this is abnormal Titans, because they will potentially ignore the outer scouts who are there to warn, distract, get rid of, maybe kill off that Titan, and abnormals may just run straight through those scouts and head towards the center. In the case of a normal being spotted, they will fire a black flare into the air, and this signals the danger of an abnormal, and a group from further in the ranks will quickly head that way to take out the abnormal so they can keep going. Because you just have to kill that thing, because it's going to keep messing up the formation otherwise. The entire formation, which I think, if we go down to... Oh, no. We should probably just scroll down to the scout photos anyway. I'm really bad with photos, guys.
No, all good. Delicious. Oh my god, they're Spider-Men.
How does a black flare work? Am I crazy? That doesn't make sense in my brain.
If it's daytime,
Yeah, I guess, but like,
black smoke.
I guess black smoke. I'm just thinking of how does a
The light itself is not
bright
black.
light
Yeah.
black?
It looks more like it's black dust and smoke coming off. of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think logically, because my
No,
brain,
I know.
because it's a
Yeah.
light. It's literally like a burning thing, and
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that black?
Yeah. They're
Sorry.
less... No, I totally agree with you. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but, you know. Whatever.
I just heard that. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah.
Also, I was expecting Levi to be like an old man.
No.
Man looks young as hell. I guess they're all.
He's probably in his like late 20s, early 30s.
I guess
think.
they must all be young because they die. They
Yeah.
die young.
It's rare to find an old soldier, you know, other than like Commander Pixis or that sort of thing.
They literally look like spiders on a web because all their little things.
Yeah, I know, right? So they're in this sort of reverse horseshoe kind of formation heading outwards, and is composed of a number of sections of riders, either split individually or in groups of 2 to 3. Each of these mini squads may be hundreds of meters away from another squad, meaning that often they will not be able to see much further than the next person along in the formation. So it's the 300 soldiers spread over a massive area. The outer layer is the spotting squad, presumably the most reliable soldiers. They are spread out all along this front rank, and they are the members of the Legion who will come into contact with Titans most frequently, alerting the rest of the formation, occupying the furthest left and right positions in the formation. The spotting squads can also be referred to as the left and right spotters. Support squad, they are one position deeper into the formation, and they are there to race to help out the spotting squad if something big happens. And if they can see shit going down, they will race out to reinforce. The command squad, the commander of the regiment, is in the front of the formation, right behind the first spotting squads. It is the commander's job to judge the situation, taking into account the flares fired by the rest of the formation, and inform the scout regiment of new trajectories. The commander is accompanied by a few men whose job it is to relay verbal messages to the rest of the formation. So he's got a bunch of runner boys with him, basically. The signalling squad, composed chiefly of new recruits, it is their job to run between the outer levels of spotters and support squad and fire extra rounds of smoke to make sure the messages carry on properly.
How far apart are these groups usually?
Hundreds of meters.
Okay.
So they're saying like they're pretty far apart.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the 300 people split into squads of like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
When we see this tactic used, all of the new recruits are put in this signaling squad because it's the safest position.
You're inside, yeah.
Realistically. Yeah. They shouldn't have to fight Titans unless something's gone very wrong. Then we have the wagon defense squad. This is the right behind the command squad in the middle of the group. We have all of the supplies on wagon top. They are in the safest position, obviously. And then the transport squad, who are running alongside this wagon. They're running alongside the wagon defense squad, and they're just basically focused on transport rather than the defense. Then we have the standby squad, who is the most protective part of the formation in the center rear behind the transport squads. However, this is not to say that they are the weakest ones in need of protection. Usually they are the band-aid squad. A hole in the line appears somewhere, they're going at it. So usually this will be Levi's special squad because they're the squad that they can just be sent anywhere that they're needed.
Flying squad, yeah.
Fly squad, exactly.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
And then the rear squad, pretty straightforward. They're the ones at the very back of the formation, protecting it from Titan pursuit. It kind of entails some risk as you could get left behind the rest of the formation if you don't have line of sight, which can very easily happen. So you got to keep up. This formation has drastically increased the scout regiment's survival rates outside the wall. However, it can be rendered ineffective by bad weather, especially rain, when flares become more useless. This, combined with the drop in visibility from said rain or fog, will reduce the ability for the formation to remain in communication and spot Titans. But this is it. That is, in essence, that is the war-bound society of Attack on Titan. Humanity's desperate last stand against its greatest foe.
Who is there a person we know that made up this thing? Is it like one of the guys who are alive, or is it like
The formation?
Yeah.
Irvin Smith, the current commander.
Oh, okay, cool. So he made it up.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, did a lot of this develop in the last 5 years or so?
Yep.
With the, yeah.
How old is that guy?
I think I want to say like late 30s, early 40s,
Okay.
Irvin Smith.
So he's not old.
He's not like old, no.
But he's been out there and he's still alive.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of missions.
And in this photo here, they're fighting the armored Titan, right? He's got hair.
He does.
Why does he have hair?
We'll get to that.
No, the other Titans. I think some of the other Titans had
They
hair.
did.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like long hair. Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, that is Attack on Titan, guys. That's the world.
That's those guys.
That's those guys. Or is it?
Or is it?
Bum, bum, bum.
Tell me.
But in any case, that's the end of this episode, is what it is.
If you want to find out more about what might twist, get on the next episode that'll be coming out.
Well, this
Whenever this next episode comes out.
is a great place to say. This episode and last episode are everything that you need to know about the pretty fun and cool world of Attack on Titan until we start to get way more spoilery. So while you should definitely go and listen to our next episodes whenever they are out, this is a good place to go watch the show, read the manga if you're that way inclined.
Just a quick little watch.
It's not
Before we...
It's not actually. It's only 4 seasons of like 10 to 20 episodes per season with like 20-minute episodes each. So it's very bingeable.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
20-minute episodes aren't bad.
Nah. 100%. But yeah, what do you guys think, huh?
Pretty sick.
I am just finding out how many roles in this society I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Real.
one of those things
Real.
where you're like, I want to be the hero on the front line. Every guy wants the last. No, I don't. I want to be sitting at the city at home, unaware of any of this.
Yep.
What is a formation? I don't know, honey. I make bread.
Yep. And there is plenty of people that work just as producers and farmers.
Oh, yeah.
I think we'll probably get into it if in the next episode we do on this, but I just want to know what these fucking Titans are.
Well, we'll have to find out.
It seems it's a very cool world that has opened a lot of questions that I feel like they're going to answer, and
Yep.
it really makes or breaks a series where they answer those satisfactory. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel it's kind of like. Maybe the One Piece is a little too big for this, but it's kind of like, do they answer? It's kind of like Lost kind of like got a bit off guard because they didn't answer the question, why are they here and stuff like that.
No, I
until
get
the very
you.
end. I think it spoilers for Lost. I think it ended up
took
being
a
like
long way.
Purgatory,
Yeah.
which is
something
kind of
like
a
that.
shit answer from what vibe I got. I never seen the show.
That's honestly, I would say, of all the series that I've watched, like, not strictly anime, just in general, I would say Attack on Titan's probably up there with series that may not be like my favorite series of all time, but in terms of consistency of quality and consistency of good writing, epic story, enjoyable premise, everything feels like it makes sense.
Delivering on hooks.
Delivering on providing things that you can look back in retrospect. It's probably one of the better written things out there, I'd say. The end feels great. The end feels right. And everything makes sense. It doesn't feel like, well, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
and
it's-
everything as you learn more is like,
It's like if you start a series with questions that if you don't have the answers to them at the start,
yeah,
that's a problem.
100%.
I think there are good ways to come to the conclusion naturally, especially like if it's what's going to happen there. But like if you already reveal a big secret, you need to have the answer before you start writing.
100%.
It's sorry to throw him under the bus, but it's the J.J. Abrams mystery box thing. Whereas he writes his stories like he answers a lot of questions, but doesn't quite have the answer yet. Which is like you can't. It feels unsatisfactory if they're not really good answers. So if you don't have an answer, don't put the mystery there.
100%.
I'm excited and I'm glad it has good answers.
If you want us to come to our conclusion, then you should rate us on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you guys are listening right now. And the number of stars that you give us is the number of layers of other guys protecting your roving squad. If you rate us 5 stars, you're on that wagon, baby. You're not stressed at all. You're just chilling it with the supplies. If you rate us 1 stars, you're out on the outside. You might get left behind.
Ooh.
If you are, the number of stars you rate us is the amount of cannons you have under your command in the garrison regiment.
Yeah. The number of stars you rate us is the number of people who die outside the walls while you just sit and gamble for the military police. Yeah. Hey, I wish you something for the other guys.
Based.
Alrighty. Oh my god. Alright.
God.
Otherwise, check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and all the rest. And thank you to our Patreons who support us.
Yeah, share with a friend if you have friends.
Of course they have friends.
If you have friends, just listen to more of the podcast.
Our
Listen to an
listeners,
hour
we're
and
here.
30 minutes of us talking about Attack on Titan. We're not sure.
Oh, well, thank you to Luke Newcomb, Josh from Maine, Shadow, Jacob from Norway, Loading Name, Mike, Tiani Wilson, and Uranian Games. Thank you to all our Patrons. Those are, sorry, I didn't break it up, but Novice, Prestige, and High Lawkeepers.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you can join them, say, at patreon.com/livingbythelaw.
Yeah.
And join our Discord as well. That's it. And thank you. You have been beautiful. Good night. Tri-State area.
Goodbye.
Good morning. He skipped me. We're going too fast now.
In Attack on Titan, there is no good morning.
There is no good morning.
Thank you for listening to Living by the Law. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave a review, tell your friends, and if you're feeling extra generous, become an official lawkeeper by joining our Patreon today. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Living by the Law. All links are in the description, and thank you in advance. We have been, and always will be, living by the law. Thank you for your company, and good night.